are such an asshole.
All right, we have a request from our Ashkenazi Jewish agent in the field. Not a regular Jew, a super Jew. That'd be actually... I hope someone's writing these ideas down. I just wish we had a fund, like $1 billion fund. Super Jew. Make it a comic book hero right now. Do it. Oi. By day, it's normal Herschel van Winkelstein. At night, he's Super Jew. Oh, the fun we could have if we just had some funding. All right. Aaron, I hope you are doing great. I have a new request. Let me know the price. Back when we were growing up, when a hot girl would walk by, many, if not most guys, would turn around and check her out. Now, at least here in San Francisco, well, I was going to talk nationally or Western culture wide, but yeah, San Francisco. Well, yeah, I mean, it's where the freaks are. No one even notices them, not on the street, not at the gym or anywhere else. I guess as San Francisco goes, so too will the rest of America. I have two questions about this. Why did men's behavior change this way? Two, can it possibly conceivably be a good thing? The reason I ask this is because some feminists would argue that men have evolved to respect women, treat them as equals rather than objectifying them, like it was in the not so distant past. Thanks in advance, our Ashkenazi Jewish agent and the super Jew. Da, 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 da. All right, so let's go to first. Why do men's behavior change this way? When I ask every answer is incentives, but I would say largely feminism and overall general women's behavior and opinions that have evolved over time. Not exclusively limited to feminism, but generally, and again, you guys all know my theory. My theory is that women never like men that much. Industrial revolution comes along. They don't need men. They got white collar work. We also have a welfare state, so women don't need men anymore. So there is now women can take action on their true motives and incentives and desires, and they just don't like guys that much. The political movement or arm of feminism voiced that very clearly, told men for generations now that women didn't need them. I mean, just this short of telling them they don't like them and don't you dare this, don't you talk that. And I also think on the side of men, most men, despite what feminists say, are not raisinists, aspiring raisinists, hiding behind every corner, who meet in their patriarchy meetings and wish to oppress women. It's not, they're not a bunch of misogynists. They're just a bunch of guys like, they don't want to offend. Oh, I don't want to offend. Oh, is that what you want? Oh, okay. Well, we won't. You want equality? Yeah, well, yeah, you should be equal. Yeah, I mean, you remember being. Well, yeah. Why wouldn't that? Okay, you'd be no different than, my friend Bob wants a chocolate ice cream. Why would I prevent him from I say, oh, Bob, shame on you for wanting chocolate ice. Well, yeah, you want chocolate ice cream. I think most guys were accommodating to that. They don't want to upset women, let alone anyone else. Why would you want to upset somebody? Someone puts a Green Bay Packers bumper sticker. All right, go Pack. So I think men were logically just simply considerate. Women, we don't want you bothering us. We don't want you asking us out. We don't want you. We don't need you. We could do it on our own. And depending on the many messages, you could argue from some of the harsher ones is we don't need you to, well, I can do anything. We still like guys. We just got to reprioritize in our life. I think most men said, okay, you don't like being wolf whistled. You don't like being catcalled. You don't like drunken approaches. You don't like, you just don't like the attention. And as I'm being serious, I'm not even being tongue in cheek. As I'm being serious, I think most men in most women's eyes, you are junk mail, right? If you look back, even in the olden days when times were good, the majority of your advances were rejected because most women aren't interested in you. And so it's taken on, they were basically telling men that, "Look, you junk mail and you're annoying us." And we're like, and unlike corporations that just send you a ton of junk mail, well, fuck you, we're gonna annoy you. Most men were accommodating to that. And it kind of leads into your second question. Can it possibly or conceivably be a good thing? I think so in some ways, yes. Um, women are being harassed less. Look, let's just be honest. Have every guy here raise your hand if you hit on a gal and you weren't on your best game. You were drunk, you were lewd, or you were just bad, like you were awkward. Now, one can make the argument, oh, come on, you were just taking your shot. Yeah, it's fine. Well, on the other hand, did you make that girl's day better? Just did you make her uncomfortable? You could argue asking a girl out should be a normal thing. That's right. That's fine. You're right. You should be able to ask out a girl, but at the same time, you still made her uncomfortable. Some girls, an increasing percentage, I would argue, are just made uncomfortable. If we go to the airport, right, and our flight got delayed, and we're at the men's urinals, right, and there's 20 of them lined up, right, and you're down at one end. If I stand right next to you and start taking a piss, am I going to make you? I have a right to do it, sure, I guess. But out of etiquette and decorum, I'm gonna go at least 4 stalls down from you, leave you be, out of out of courtesy and respect. So I think the vast majority of, and we're talking about 80%, women's relationship with men is that you guys, and me included, we are junk mail. They're not interested. Continuing on with the junk mail analogy, we are highly motivated, junk mail in the real world being for profit, marketing, us for sex, because we want to have sex. But I think men just kind of like, okay, you really don't like that. And well, and now women are starting to get heads on the pike. Women are starting to collect heads where, okay, that was harassment. We decided, which is a gray area, starting all the way with Anita Brown. I forget. We're going back to the 90s. Where now there's starting to be some at least social costs associated with expressing interest, awkwardly or not, right? You can't ask girls out at work no more. They don't like that. Well, maybe some do. I don't know, but the ones who didn't like it spoke louder than the ones that did. But now it's a policy. You can't ask girls out at the gym. Why? Because someone got kicked out of the gym. A bunch of people lost their jobs. Like Clarence Thomas, that whole sexual harassment thing. Now there's social media and the internet that can take people down. Oh, in 1912, this guy, and here's the receipts. Oh God, look, he fucking propositioned that girl. What a fucking scumbag. The and it could be even made up on whole cloth. And yes, I'm accusing the gal who attacked Kavanaugh, whatever her name was. It was all bullshit. So now there's costs. And so whereas perhaps initially men just out of respect, like, okay, we'll ask you out less, you know, even if the numbers were like, well, and there's numbers out there. 1 in 4 women don't want you to ask them out in public. So, but the majority does. Yeah, but 1 in 4 is a lot of insults. And now, so I'm just going to err on the side of caution, be very polite and not look at women, not gawk, not wolf whistle, not talk, not approach in public. But now that you start to see there's serious, and we're not a criminal yet. We're not a criminal yet, but there is financial and social consequences to you asking out girls that don't want to be asked out, for you being junk mail to girls, particularly at work. I don't know how colleges are doing it. Um, there's also then the risk of false accusations, where you had the University of Virginia in the 2010s. There was a lot of fake raisoning accusations, which turned out to be fake. You start throwing up these, and then there's legal costs. I mean, the guy just got exonerated when she finally said, "Oh yeah, it was a fake claim." Guys start seeing that, and now they're like, "Whoa, whoa, I can't even risk that right now. I put in however many years into an education and slaved away at rookie entry level at the corporation. Now I'm senior poobah at the division. I'm not. You could definitely see it. So that has accelerated men's behavior of just leaving women alone, not looking at them, not doing anything romantic or sexual or courting like asking a girl on a date. Yeah, okay, the underlying incentive is at least part sexual, but romantically, like you can't just no, not now the costs are too tremendous. And you can, well, it's a really small, it doesn't matter. If it's 1 in 20, the guy just threw away his college career and all the no. Because at the end of the day, and this is some girls you gotta understand, men have to live. They gotta get food, clothing, and shelter, and that's a pretty high hurdle, especially now with the inflationary days of free money. You're all such good economists. Why is it so expensive? So if a guy's gonna eat or stand a what, a 1 in 10 chance of maybe getting laid or a 1 in 5 chance of going on a date, eh, there's real severe in some instances of men losing their livelihood or having their livelihood impaired or very slow their progress in life slowed down. And they're just doing self-survival, self-protection. Um, so there's that. And then in your particular case, there's the political and cultural zeitgeist of just mentally ill people. There's that. But the left is in general, if we're going to generally categorize it, um, San Francisco locally, it's the epitome of leftist thought, leftist culture. And I imagine women are very more than an arm's length away from men there. And I think the men are very accommodating. And you could also go San Francisco culture. It's a bunch of nerds and geeks and IT guys, right? And they're generally not the aggressive types, and they got a lot of those IT guys in Silicon Valley. They got good careers and money. I don't want to fuck that up. They also just tend to be shy. Nerds tend to be shy. But that's more San Francisco. But then also, like, I guess nationally, returning to the nationwide, I think there's less testosterone in men. Well, I know there's less testosterone in men. There's less testosterone. Men aren't as horny. Men aren't as aggressive. And I don't mean, and you could say they've been trained socially by whatever, single moms, teachers, and all that society. But I also think biologically there just isn't that oomph there. Um, the what I get a kick out of is young men who have literally have nothing to lose. You're in college, you got nothing going on. I'm afraid of rejection. I can't ask out a girl. What if they put me on blast? Who the fuck is going to put you're no one. You're no one. Go ask the girl out. So I would fair criticism from women to men is men are cowards and pussies now. If you're 32, you're in the thing and you got things to lose, I can understand you selectively asking girls out. It's certainly not at work, but you're 20, you're living in your dorm, you're $40,000 in debt, you have no job prospect. Oh, I'm worried you're gonna reject me and put me on blast. So what? Where's the girl out? Well, she put me on blast. So she put you on blast. Who cares? That that was so. But yeah, that tells me, and you can look at the biological data. Testosterone levels are going down in men, and so men are just not compelled as much as they used to be. Oh, well, then, I mean, there's many things. And then, okay, who are the girls we asking out? There was one gal I actually got a taxi cab for and took a long shot going down to a bike race in Chicago. This is many, many years ago. And I actually found her. Shocking that I found her. Needle in a haystack. um, she was that good looking, and we had a very clever, almost like it was scripted in a movie exchange at a stoplight of all places. I was walking, she was on her bike. And I'm like, I gotta go after her. But she was that good looking, it compelled me. Dude. It's, there used to be a lot more good looking girl. I can even see this today where in the olden days, if a girl was a 9, it wouldn't stop me. And I would occasionally get a date with a 9. Certainly plenty of 8s. Now, one, there just isn't that many good-looking women, so you're not motivated, and what good-looking women there are, they're so rare, you've had this warping effect where they got such an attitude, you're just like, because I remember not even hitting on a girl, asking a girl one time, she was reading a book, I'm like, it was a beautiful summer day, I'm like, "What are you reading?" And I will admit, she was like an 8. Wasn't a 9, she was an 8. She was a more than she's a very attractive woman. Not drop dead gorgeous, but a very attractive woman. She said, "Why does it surprise you a woman's reading?" I'm like, "Oh, fuck off." I just Jesus Christ. Holy shit. I and that's largely been due to the internet, but also the population of what's happened to the female population. Men and women have gotten fatter. You show me a bunch of fat chicks at Walmart, I'm not like, "Oh, dang, I'm horny now. Let me go ask the girls out. Let me get myself a girl. I can't wait to go on a date." And especially San Francisco, what do the women look like over there? Really? I know that's politically incorrect because 'cause we're talking about what guys want and the nature of men, but yeah, men, what biological, physical motivation. What is girding their loins? Absolutely nothing. Hey, but here's Tess Holiday and Lizzo and some fat models at Victoria's Secrets. One missing an arm. Yay! Look it up. And no offense to the actress, the model that is missing the arm. I just like, yeah, sorry, it's bodily mutilation. No, I'm not. I I'm not kidding. An anecdote, I like buying the girlfriend the occasional cute thing on the lingerie, and we've gone through like 4 lingerie websites. You could reliably get stuff at Old Fredericks of Hollywood and Victoria's Secrets, and then the fat models and plus size models just kept populating. Then we went to Yandy, which had a good run, and then there's a fat model. You see a fat, ugly woman on a lingerie website, you don't feel like buying lingerie, and my purchase of it just dropped off. It just dropped off. Beforehand, it was like kind of a fun, like, "Hey, let's take a look at this. Oh, yeah, I get those shoes. Yeah, babe, whatever you want." 'Cause Yandy was dirt cheap. It was great. And now you're just like, "Oh, I'm gonna get my edge coming back. I'm gonna get." Oh, yeah, no, no, no. Another funny story, like, we're out when I lived in Wyoming and we're in South Dakota. I was living by myself. Girlfriend's like, "Are there any other girls out here?" I'm like, "Yeah, there's other girls out here. Aren't you even cute?" "No, I don't believe you." "Come on out." She came out, she's like, "Oh my god." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, don't worry. I'm not running off with Gertha over there. I'm literally just here to work. I'm here to fucking work." There is no cutesy little side piece here. I'm wondering if the rate of infidelity is going down because everyone is getting so fat in this country. I wonder, like, I mean, there's gotta be some, right? I mean, both men and women going both way. Like, oh, why are you loyal? Because everyone else is fat. That's the truth. Oh, Aaron. Oh my God, such truth. Oh, so then could it possibly conceivably be a good thing? The reason I ask is because some feminists would argue men have evolved to respect women and treat them as equals rather than objectify them. Well, there is some truth to that. Look, women are humans too. Women are individual humans too. Some women, they're very serious, and you can't judge their moral or their value system. Some women want to be known for their accomplishments or whatever, their personality or their politics or whatever. That is their right to insist that other people, now whether people follow through on it, that's up to other people. But a woman has every right to say, I don't value these things the most about myself, and I wish you would value this about me, or certainly not take my physical looks and have that be the number one thing you value me by. They have every right to request that. Whether people honor that request is another issue, but they have every right to do that. And since men are like, you told us what you wanted, you don't want us to like you for your physical beauty anymore. Okay, we won't, or we won't say anything about it. We will not act. We'll just leave you alone. I think a lot of women, were very pretty. Like, imagine, the gal, was she a kind of a shocking a woman? Like, but I think she was attractive enough. I think she got hit on so many times. Beautiful women have this, they're hit on so many times that it becomes annoying, becomes junk mail, and they they get less junk mail now. They're asked out less, they're flirted with less, they're left alone, and for the most part, that's what they want and they got. Now, we can argue, "Oh, well, then they didn't really like it." That's not an us problem. That's not men's responsibility or problem. That's their problem. Women get to deal with men asking, "Oh, I wish men would ask us out." Well, none of it. Good, you can wish. Fine. But I would say overall, based on what women said they wanted, generally speaking, yes, this has been progress. Women are annoyed less. Women are, in some of their instances, defined by some definitions, harassed less. Now, there's a drawback. Some, because women are not a monolithic group. Some women are like, I kind of want men to ask us out, and that's unfortunate. They're Thomas Sowell, there are no solutions, only trade-offs. So here's the opportunity cost. Men are asking you out less, so then the agency and the solution is in women's hand. Well, you're going to have to ask out the guys. Or you'd have to make it where, okay, we're not going to kill your career and take your head if you asked out Susie in accounting. Uh, but if we were to go based on democracy and the majority vote and the majority has spoken, I think more women are happy, at least what they state, in men leaving them alone and having less junk mail than women. Geez, I wish there were more offers and men asking us out. The solution is very simple. You girls said you want to be equal. You could start asking guys out. That again is not a man's problem. That's a you. That sounds like a you problem, not an us problem. That's a them problem. And but men almost can't. Their hands are tied in this instance, except for specific scenarios. It's that, yeah, men can ask women out, but it isn't going to be happening as frequently as you'd like. So there is that opportunity cost. Uh, and then what? Um, can it possibly consider? Yes. Um, like it was nonsense. Yeah, I think there is. If if you were to take modern days women's request to be harassed less or bothered less, and you take them at face value that they don't like men that much, this is a win. All right. I would also argue that if this is the case, that if you were asking, like I said, but we can't ask out girls anymore. Was your goal to ask girls out or to get dates? Because there is a difference. I would argue you're getting the same amount of dates, right? You're just getting shot down less because you're not taking your shot as much, which you could argue results in less dates. But what I'm saying is you're asking out less women, not to bother them. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have less dates. I guess in a statistical sense, it would. But all we've done is we've annoyed women less. I think that's the net result here. We've annoyed women less, more than women have wished men would ask them out. So it's overall a net positive. And then I would say the a number, I'll be perfect. I think the number of women as time goes on who want to actually go on a date with the average guy has gone down. So the amount of dates that were going to happen are happening anyway. Like if a girl likes you, she'll let you know. You'll figure it out. And I think there's just been a lot less. I mean, I'm wondering the amount of, has the number of complaints filed of a harassment or annoyance, has that gone down? I don't know. I really don't know. But it would seem to me, because yeah, men are, we're kind of giving you what you wanted, and then guys are just kind of moving on with their lives. Yeah, I guess maybe it would have been nice if we could ask people out, but on the whole, I think we're less human. We're not having as much sex. We're not having as much fun. Oh God, is sex fun? Oh my God, it's a tool of the patriarchy. We'll leave you alone. We'll leave you alone. But based on what, based on their request for proposal, based on the requisition form, we delivered it. Looks like we're making progress. So I have to believe it's an improvement. Unless the point in time comes, girls, you change your mind. again, but you'd have to get rid of a whole bunch of other stuff like, look, a guy has a right to ask you out and not lose his job. A guy has a right to ask you out or make an approach and not, get thrown in jail. It which we haven't gotten to that point yet, and it's balanced, like, there's a lot, we focus on the guys here. Dude, there's a lot of scumbag guys as well. There are a lot of stalker types, a lot of creepy, addicted types. So I can you gotta have a little bit, but I think we're just going a little bit too far this, but women are happy with this. You know, we'll leave you alone. It and I any arguments coming from the women's side of things now, well, men need to no, 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 we don't. That is a not you can men do not need to risk their livelihood and lives. Nope, no, they don't. You girls can, with near zero risk, start asking out men or make it very clear you're interested in men. You get to do it now. This is the responsibility. This is the consequences side of choices. This is the responsibility side of decisions. You made a decision, you made a choice, here are the consequences. The solution is now you get to ask out men because I can't think of men who are going to like, "Oh my god, that bitch Becky asked me out at work. I'm going to go to HR." I would love to see the number of HR complaints where it's a guy filing a complaint that a girl asked him out. Or guys like uncomfortable that a girl was talking to him at a bar. Show me where that happens. So this is what you wanted, right? We're here now. There you go, girls. And I would say the absence of women asking men out, the silence is deafening. It tells you all you need to know, which I think this is more progress than most people say. They're just not that interested. And now they finally got you guys to leave them alone. I think that's pretty because if they really liked you, they would have asked you out. That would have happened by now. But they don't. Oh, they're complaining and TikTok girls trying to get clicks and likes and build up an online app. Sure. There's that interference, there's that propaganda. But right now, I think you look at it, it's kind of one of those sad things like, oh, this is how it is. Yeah, this is reality. They're meh. That's the interest girls have in you is meh. And I think we really should respect women's like, yeah, we're not there. Okay, cool. Well, let us know. We will. And they will. I think they will. So link below for you young guys, if you still got like, for all three of you young people that have testosterone, the Pence Principle. Please go get that book so you don't ruin your social life and career and end up in jail because your dick got you in trouble. $5. I stepped in San Francisco, shipped $5. Had the guys over for a fight night last night, all ages from 25 to 65. Man hatred came up in the conversation multiple times. We all see it. So you had the guys. Well, yeah. I mean, is it hate? Yes. There are women that hate men. Absolutely. They all work at Disney. But is it indifference? Is it annoyance? They don't, a little 4-year-old kid annoys you. You don't hate the kid. You're just like, kid, go away. I'm busy. The adults are talking. Or is it actual ideological hatred? If you want, go get my book, A World Without Men. I go through, I think it's 5 levels of women's relationship with men as best I can estimate. You can't measure. There's about 5% of girls that like men. It's that low. The majority are indifferent. Then there's annoyance. Then there's adversarial. And then there's outright hatred. Competitive and then hatred. Go read through it. I think I did a pretty good job. Mayeka, $10. Difference between then and now was proximity and reciprocation. The dating landscape is going to be very brutal for women in the future because men, unlike the past generations, aren't going to be lenient. The men of future generations aren't going to have any skills. They're not going to be masculine. They're not going to be physically attractive. Women got the Democrat men they voted for. You're your soy boy pussies, ladies. He's really good with the acoustic guitar there, but he votes the right way. You said that, right? You said that was really important. There you go. Here he is. May I introduce you to Yaden? Um, yeah, and the proximity. Yeah, you didn't have global dating markets. That's it, guys. It's all good, man. It's all good. God or nature has allowed us to be born at this very unique moment in time where we get to see some fascinating shit happening between the sexes. It is going to be absolutely fascinating. Fascinating. It already is. It already is. Pie, 10 generous dollars. Twitter is so right wing now. Like DDES, distant black chicks, and all I can think about is why every time I see a baddie, I can understand why a bunch of white does dudes colonize Africa makes sense to me. I don't think it's that it's so right wing. I just think that right wing folk, extreme or not, were so oppressed and censored in platforms, all the major media platforms, that now it's just one place for them to go. So you see more of it. But DD, like dudes dissing black chicks. Yeah, but black guys diss black chicks. For once, look, and you could say it's right wing, but it's still criticism. There's some people out here who think that way. I'd rather know everyone's opinion than only knowing these people's opinion because it's politically correct. And look, a lot of this, I'd argue, is constructive criticism. How much of this is because people don't like black chicks? I'm sure there's some who genuinely are bigoted against black women. How much of it is more constructive? Like, dude, knock it off with the Brazilian butt lifts, the lip and the attitude, and your Wolverine claws. You're not going to get a man or a job. You could argue, oh, that's anti black woman. Is it? Or is it, well, you could get a job and you could find a man and you'd be healthy. I mean, the amount of fatherly care and constructive criticism, the amount of tough fatherly love that is viewed as hatred is appalling. You need constructive brotherly, older brother, tough fatherly love, which I think a lot of that is. Every time I see a baddie, I can understand. Right, okay. Lizard of Linux Lane, $2. Cappy, do you ever go onto other podcasts? I do occasionally. I don't mind it, but it's time out of my day, and my goal is not money. My goal is not making billions of dollars. I'll take it, sure. My goal is to go have fun. And then I've also found when people have you on their podcast, man, they don't have their shit together. Like if you physically go into a podcast, everyone's late, no one's got their shit together, no one's professional. That's why I really appreciate Pearl. People criticize Pearl all the time. She was on time, paid for my flight, had her shit together, respected people's times. Um, and I just, I talk about this shit all the time. You know what they want to talk about? They want to talk about the shit I talk about all the time, which makes sense. I understand. You want to expose it to a new audience. But I just want to, I want to have fun. I want to be four again. Mexi Man and Cheese, $5. Women say they're being stood up on apps. I'm starting to think apps make fake male profiles to keep women around since so many men have left the apps. Probably. Welcome to equality, ladies. Yeah, that's real. Getting stood up? Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Wasn't there a restaurant that had fake male profiles to meet girls? Like, meet me at this restaurant, and the girls would show up and they'd order food. And I think they found out the restaurant was behind the app or the dating profile. Oh, okay. Well, this is what you wanted, ladies, whether you knew it or not. This is what it's like being equal. Yeah. People are gonna take advantage of you. Yeah. Yeah. Fascinating. It's gonna be a fascinating show. All right, that's it. Link below, the Pence principle. Protect yourselves. And then also, just so you guys, if you, yes, trying to sell my book, but also it's good work. If you want to get a very good idea, and it's a starting point, certainly the numbers could change. But if you want to get a very good idea of what women's opinion of men are in America, maybe to a lesser extent the West, get the A World Without Men, an analysis of an all-female economy. Because it's very important to know what women's interest in men is, so men know how much, well, one, so you don't bother them. 2, how much do we invest in the pursuit of you? 3, should we reciprocate? Should we just leave you alone? And 4, yeah, if you hate men, you're the enemy of men. Men need to know about it. And sadly, there's a significant amount of women who hate men. And it's not a fringe element. They're in the institutions. Again, Disney Exhibit A, they don't like men. They hate men. And you got 'em on tape. We discriminate against men, white men. I don't know. It's real, and you need to be aware of it. So that's in the book. A World Without Men: An Analysis of an All-Female Economy. All right, we got one more. Holden Menard's 5 Canadian. I would have less to complain about if the government didn't waste my money on useless people who could otherwise help themselves, i.e., feminist causes. Yeah, but that's living in a democracy. I know, guy. I know. Get enjoy the decline, accepting living with the death of the United States. Although you're Canada, but you're further down that road than we are. Not by much. We're coming up behind you. It I should do it. The video. You do know welfare, not by design, but by reality, by default. At the end of the day, the purpose of welfare is to keep miserable people alive so that they suffer more, right? Useless people, worthless people who have nothing in life also tend to collect welfare, right? They're not going to put in any effort into becoming a quality human being that includes work, skills, but also becoming a person that people would like to hang out with. So I don't care how much free money they're getting, they're still miserable. Absolutely miserable. And they're on welfare and they steal and whatever. And they're on drugs and booze and Adderall and all the excuse. They're miserable, right? So, and then you don't like paying them money. I get it. Neither do I. But if you didn't give them the money, they'd be forced to adhere to the real world. They would realize what the true point and purpose of and meaning of life is. They would have to, by default, develop a work ethic and become somebody of worth and value. Then they would start living their life and they would enjoy it. Or we can give them free chicken tendies through EBT and WIC and Section 8 housing and keep them there. And their entire lives is being fat, miserable, jealous, envious, and unfuckable. Again, I couldn't cause more damage if I tried. I really couldn't. Guys don't like Disney. I thought about a movie. There's a movie called Tank. And be kind of like inspired by Killdozer. But there's a movie called Tank in the 80s, and corrupt sheriff and the guy gets a tank. And what if there was the scene in Kelly's Heroes where there's 3 tanks, but instead of rolling into a German encampment in World War II, they just roll into Disneyland, make sure everyone's out, and they just start blowing shit up. I am in no way advocating that. I am no way advocating that. But then I sat and I thought about the economics of it. Could you even, let's say you had 3 tanks, oddball in command himself. Could you cause as much damage to Disney monetarily that Kathleen Kennedy and Marvel has? You couldn't. Let these people cause, they are the worst punishers. The worst punisher is people's selves. You just got to get out of the way. Maybe help them a little bit with a little bit of, yeah, stay alive some more. Yeah, stay addicted. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you're a victim. Yeah, you only got 40 more years of this hell. You go, girl. Yeah, girl, but get a master, get a doctorate. Yeah, go into debt. Yeah. Okay, you write some articles about why you need a student loan bailout when you're 50 years old. Yeah, you don't need no man. Yeah. How much more money you need to stay alive until you're 89? Okay, here you go. Yeah, that was 90 years of suffering. I can't, I couldn't do that to anyone. I don't have the time. All right, there you go. See you guys later. Links below. Toodles.